Good evening, everyone. This is Zach, and welcome to the market blueprint for the first week of June 2025. Let's get started. So this is a daily chart of the ES S&P 500 futures contract. I'm using Thinkorswim here just to get a clean overview look. For quite some time now, we've had a bid in the market since we established the low around the end of March, beginning of April. So if we get more zoomed in like this, we were going down, made a lower high right here, a pivot, back test of this low, this kind of range area. And once we back tested it, we sold. Eventually we found a low. You can reason as to why we established the low here all you want. There's a bunch of different theories. All that matters is that is our low for now. Once we developed this low, we made a lower high right here, and then we had a defensive high that needed to be taken out for the bulls to get real order flow with them. Once they took that out, we've been going up ever since, and as we discussed just now, we had this range around the all-time high area. Once we came back inside the low, which was right here, um, we could start thinking about range rotations. Now with range rotations, you want to define a low, you want to define a high, and then you want to play auction balance theory, right? So we go below a range and then we re-enter it. It's very likely if we don't backtest it, we will rotate it. So that's kind of what's going on right now. Once we re-entered this range, we retested from the inside. We retested our low right there, held that retest, and now what bulls are trying to do is take out this high and start our rotation up to around here. So right now the high in contention is that, the low in contention is somewhere in this area. Um, and yeah, quite simple. Um, I'm not telling you to be a bull just because we held this low, although it is very bullish. And I'm not telling you to be a bear because we haven't broken this high yet. We attempted it, but we didn't hold it. Um, for now, all you can do if you're a day trader, if you're playing on my time frame, is go level to level. And yeah, let's zoom in using market profile and volume profile charts to build some more in-depth theory on how to approach this on a day trader time frame. So again, very similar to what we were discussing. Um, if you want to look at it from a profile perspective, oops, let's look at it like that. We had this big old range right here, and once we re-entered it, we retested it right there, and a couple of the simple moving averages. This was the 100 SMA and the 200 SMA. Got retested, and we had that range low get retested and held. This is a good look so far for the bulls as long as this area holds. Now, in terms of the intraday play, what I would do is, first of all, let's go to TPO. Now this chart is a bit messy. There's a lot of levels in between, but I'm going to ignore most of them and play day to day, play very local with my levels. So I'm going to look at the last week of trade, which was the 26th to the 30th. So the 26th was a shortened trading day, I believe it was. It was an American holiday. I'm Canadian, so I don't really remember what holiday it was, but it was a half day, so very low volume. So let's ignore that for now. Let's look at Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and this is ETH today. Okay. Well, on Tuesday we had a rally. On Wednesday we broke out from the high of Tuesday on Wednesday, and then we stayed inside. Thursday we stayed inside again, and then Friday we stayed inside, but then we made a new low. Now, if I was to begin merging these, which is combining these days together to get a profile-based look, let's combine these 2 days, and now let's combine these 3. And you can see we have a pretty bulky value over last week being developed. And why don't we even, before I combine Friday to this MC, which is microcomposite, before we do that, let me explain to you what I did with the Friday. I pre-marked the value area high, the value area low, and the point of control. These are just the standard calculations that everyone has for the RT8 session, 70% of the value traded, high, low, and point of control. Okay, so we merged Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and this is Friday. Why don't we merge that as well? And you can see this is the distribution curve of last week. That's what it looks like. Now, based off of that, you can define, let's take a look at what that looks like if we join that. Yeah, if we join it, it doesn't really change anything, so we'll join it. This is all of last week. Now, based on the volume profile, what I like to do is I will, of course, I'll define the value area high and low of the prior day, but I will also define a couple of ledges. Some people call them shelves, I like to call them ledges. Some areas in which there's a lot of value and then it just drops off. This is kind of an area where market makers have kind of, or large participants have built positions and then they kind of stopped. There's a lot of theory behind why these ledges are important. I won't really get into that right now. I think I have another video somewhere on my channel, you can find it, about this stuff. But for now, we'll just mark these levels. So the ledges I really like are right here. And this is a good one right here. And then this is like more of an intermediate ledge. And then we have one like around here. You could use this one as well. There's a few of them to play. However, the reason I won't use this one is because you can see right now we've traded through it, so clearly it's not being held much. This is the ETH, the pre-market that's going on right now because it's 8 p.m. So I'll mark this one. One thing to realize about profile trading is that I like to imagine what the profile will look like as the day continues. So we know that a normal profile looks like kind of like that. And if it looks like that, then we take this profile and we draw something similar, right? We expect this profile to eventually look like that. What are the steps that we need to take in order to make this profile look like that? Well, we need to fill this in. We need to fill this area in. This area has been fulfilled, but we need to fill this area in. So because of that, there's a lot of discretion that's going into picking these levels, clearly, but you can see a bit of my logic. I'm gonna choose this low. I'll also define this and that. So we have an intermediate level and 2 extremes. Let me mark these up quickly. So 36.5. And let's just call that U for upper, and then LDG for ledge, and then we'll call that, why don't we just call it ledge, and then we'll make another one and put it right, well, it's kind of that works out perfectly. It's right at about 92, which is our yesterday's value area low. So instead of making a duplicate of that, what I'll do is I'll just call this yesterday's value area low plus ledge. So very nice. We have two confluence levels. Nice. Yeah, so really the plan I'm going for here is, if we look at it from this perspective and we eliminate all of our drawings, that's the profile, right? We were just looking at with some price action now on it. This is a 15-minute chart. All that I want to do here is wait for us to reach these upper extremes. This one, the 92 area. And then we had, here, let me turn on the drawings again. This is getting confusing. There we go. So we had the upper level, this one, and then we had the lower one. All I'm going to do is wait for us to hit these extremes, these ones, and see if they want to break these down and go to my next levels, which are excess levels, or simply hit them and absorb price there and rotate back into the range, usually to the midline area. Simple. Nothing too crazy. Just straight balanced play. We have a whole week last week of balance. Until the market tells me otherwise, we will play balance. On Friday, we tried right there to break below balance. We did, but we couldn't hold, so they bought price back inside the balance. Again, that's not a bullish thing. It's not a bearish thing. It's somewhat bullish because they failed the breakdown, but for the most part, being in balance is neither bullish or bearish. It's just balance. It's rotational. So all I do is I wait for the edges and I play back inside, or I play the breakout, and then I have upside targets. Very simple. I will post later tonight a screenshot of these levels. You can take a screenshot right now if you'd like. I also marked up the excess. So the excess of this day, because it's been unfilled yet, right here, the 29th, and yesterday or Friday's excess, which is right here. So again, let's merge all of these. Now you have the context of why the excess is there, the value area levels, and the ledges. Very simple. Play the balance and let the market tell you what to do. All right, guys, we are 13 minutes in. I hope that was helpful. I'm going to try and be more consistent with these videos, so please do like and give me a comment and whatnot. But yeah, peace out. Thank you.